Alright, so this reading is in 3 parts. The first part is going to be how the past in this incarnation has affected you and what feelings may need processed from the past during this incarnation in this lifetime. And then we're going to look into past lifetimes and past karma and past emotions and stuff that you might have brought with you into this life from past lives. See if any of that, what needs processed from that. And then we're going to go into how to best work through this and best do the shadow work in order to heal those kind of core wounds. Also, Kat wants to say hello and goodbye. So, okay, so this is pile 1. This card is alignment, number 18. This is pile 2. The fan kicked in, worst timing. Number 42, reclaim your energy. And then pile number 3. Number 3, sacral chakra, core of creation. So pick one of these piles, whatever resonates the most. We got Cubone over here, hyping up your alignment. We got a tiny car, reclaim your energy. Fill up that car with gasoline, maybe. Got those vibes. And we got Charmander over here, who's really ready to help you work on your sacral chakra. Whatever feels right, whatever rows your boat into flow, that's what you should pick. 1, 2, 3. Timestamps will be down in the description. Alright, so my cats are playing right now. I hope that's not too loud. Hello, light to you. What you doing? Where are you going? Okay. So, we're going to get into your past in this incarnation. What maybe emotions haven't been processed, or trauma, or karma, or anything that needs process. Let's take a look at that for you. I'm going to start with the tarot cards here. So, ooh, the Tower, that's a good start, isn't it? It's a good start. The Hanged Fae in reverse. This is, what's it called? Mystic Fairy Tarot. So this would be the Hanged Man in reverse. In this deck, it's the Hanged Fae. And the Three of Swords. Okay, wow. Betrayal. Definitely. Pain. Feeling like the rug completely pulled from under you. Foundation completely crumbled. I know how that feels. I think pain reverse. Maybe there's this struggle to break out of this belief of abandonment, of not being able to trust that what you need or want in your life will be there for you. Maybe there's this belief that anything that you care about, that's deep, I'm sorry. There's this belief that you can't shake, that no matter what, things that matter to you may just get ripped away from you and nothing is going to work out. There's this core wound here that you do not trust that what you want in your life can happen for you, because the second you get it, it can completely just shatter and break apart. I know how that feels. That's not a fun feeling. Yeah. There's this need. No, we're not into the section of how to start your shadow work though, but there is clearly a need for rewriting the script that's been playing in your mind. There is this need to rewrite this belief of everything possibly being taken from you into recognizing that what is right for you will come to you. It will stay. What's wrong for you might leave, but don't let that change the fact that if you can surrender this belief and open up to the opportunities in the world, you will start to realize that what is best for you, that's been yours all along. Alright, let's see here. We got meditate, plan a vacation, be still, and hydrate. Interesting. And I dropped some cards on the ground. Okay. Oof. You're welcome for that. Anyway. This is interesting. I wasn't sure how using these self-care cards was going to work in this, but I'll try to get a feel for this here. What stuff from this lifetime, this incarnation here, needs processed? This might just be for some of you, but it does feel like for some people watching this, or if they do watch it, whatever, there's this feeling of I feel like you're moving too much. I know plan a vacation is here, and like maybe that could be seen as like you need to get out, but I'm actually feeling the opposite when this comes to shadow work. It seems like all you've been doing is planning and moving and running around, you know, trying to avoid this pain, trying to ignore this pain, trying to ignore the fact that nothing ever works out by really doing a bunch. And there's this call to not do a bunch. Also, on the flip side, maybe you're afraid to do anything because nothing ever works out, so you're not doing anything. And you're using this stillness and this planning instead of acting as a kind of a distraction. And hydrate is here. Super important to hydrate, where every cell in your body needs water. Every system, every function needs water. For me, this really is feeling like maybe you are not taking care of yourself the way you should, and you're not waiting to gain insight before you act. It feels like you are just distracting yourself from pain, and distracting yourself from this distrust in the universe by really... Oh, that is interesting. Some people are doing too much to run and distract themselves, and some people in this reading, it feels like there's a slight disconnect, are not doing anything. They're even forgetting to drink water. So you're on one of those sides, and either way, we're trying to find a balance here, and we're trying to actually rewrite this story, okay? We got two cards here. We have confidence and anxiety. Okay, so some people have anxiety to do anything. You're not confident in yourself. You're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting yourself to make decisions, and not only are you not trusting yourself, but you're lacking trust in the universe because of this belief that you have that anything good can just be ripped away from you. Anything that's worth it can just be taken from you, can just betray you. Anyone you care about could betray you. Anything you build will just be broken, so what's the point in building anything? It's kind of a vibe I'm getting here. What's the point in doing that? I just want to distract myself from the pain. What's the point in this? I'm too anxious to start that. If I start that, then it'll just be taken. It's never going to go anywhere. This is terrible. I can't. Well, if you have a passion for this, why don't you do it? Oh, no. It would never work out for me. It would just break down the second it starts. Or, you know, you're in this relationship, maybe, and you went through a breakup, and you feel like, oh, I'm just gonna get cheated on. There's no good people, you know. There's no point in caring about love, in getting out You know, there's no point, because those people are just fake. They're just gonna hurt me. They're just gonna lie to me. They're just gonna leave me. They're just gonna destroy me. And I'll be left alone. So there's a lack of trust here. So there's a core wound here that we're dealing with, that is a fear of trusting yourself, and also just a fear of being betrayed or abandoned or losing things. Not the strongest feeling of losing things, but it's more like a feeling of anything that matters to you is taken or destroyed. Anything that matters to you, you find out, has been a facade. It's kind of a feeling here, and it just shatters everything. I think I can relate to this for sure. So this is during this incarnation, maybe something you need to really process through is this anxiety you have about things that are good and right for you. This anxiety you have about taking action, or this anxiety you have about slowing down and actually putting your feet on the next step of the path that you're supposed to be on. It's a little bit of a lack of confidence in where to put your feet, because in the past, when you thought you were putting your foot in the right place, you slipped. The rocks crumbled. You fell. You were really, scared. Take that as you will. Like, someone left you, someone broke you down, someone cheated on you. Doesn't have to be romantic. Listen, this could be family problems. This could go way, way, way back. This anxiety here. So this core wound I feel like we're working on, these feelings that need processed, definitely is about trusting yourself and recognizing that those things weren't right for you. Not the right things get ripped out from under you, okay? Not everything that you care about gets destroyed, okay? The truth is, those things aren't for you. They help you grow, okay? And then you will know in the future exactly where to place your feet. So that's this lifetime. Let's see if we can go back to some past lives and discover really maybe where some of this started for you, or maybe see why some of these feelings are so intense when in this lifetime maybe we didn't experience them. But and also, if you don't believe in past lives, just take this as you will. I mean, take it however you want. For me, I do. I'm going into past lives right now. So that's what this is going to be. So let's see. Let us see. I'm going to start with the tarot again. So what was happening in your past life that might need processed still? Eight of Wands in reverse. Temperance. And Five of Wands. Interesting. Give me a moment on that. Okay. I'm getting this big feeling of conflict, like, might be verbal conflict. I don't want to say it's like war or something, but like maybe there's this feeling of arguments, competitiveness, and kind of getting stuck in reactivity. Yeah. This feeling of an imbalance when it comes to reactivity. So in a past life, maybe you were in a situation where you really felt like you had to hold your ground, really be be a little competitive. Eight of Wands upright usually is about movement. Maybe fast moving communication, movement. My cat's being loud, sorry. But it's in reverse. This feels like not moving from this reactive, competitive state. Maybe your whole life in a past life, or maybe multiple past lives, you really had to take care of yourself, you know? Like, you're number one. You gotta take care of yourself. Everything is too stressful. It's all on you. And now you're trying to work on balancing that. So from past lives, you brought this belief that it's just me. I'm the only one that understands me. I'm the only one that can deal with me. I'm the only one, you know. Maybe you were aggressive in a past life. I mean, I don't want to say anything too triggering, but you could have maybe struggled with some kind of addiction in a past life that really kept you in a reactive state towards everyone. You didn't have time to grow and learn because you were just surviving. You were just surviving. And you felt like you could only trust yourself. And now bringing that into this lifetime, you don't believe in anything. You think in this lifetime, maybe because you brought this with you from the past, that you're still kind of stuck in a surviving kind of state. Like, you can't do what those people do. Those successful people, you can't do that because it wouldn't work for you. It would just crumble, right? Like, you know better. You know better. You know yourself, right? Like, you know, for other people, those things can work. For you, you just get hurt. People just abandon you. People just betray you. You get cheated on. No. Like, yes, other people can do that. I can't. That's what this feels like to me. It's a very interesting energy, not just coming from the cards, but... Alright, you know, let's look into these Lemurian cards here. I love this so much. So we have alignment. Starseed Elemental. Oh boy. Crown Chakra and Radical Expansion. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. This is past life stuff needing to be worked through. Feels like what needs processed here is a lot of... Yeah. Okay. So I'm feeling like in past lives you were a little more disconnected from the divine. If I want to say it like that. You were a little more disconnected to your potential and capacity for life. You felt like you were surviving. You were very reactive. Maybe in a past life you were struggling to remember how expansive you are. You weren't really aligned with yourself. You were kind of just struggling to survive. To get by, you know. You were trying to maybe compare yourself to other people's progression a little too much in past lives. And so you weren't really aligned with your truth or your full potential capacity as a person. Like, maybe you are a starseed. If you don't like vibe with that, okay, that's fine. But it's possible here that you have a bigger purpose in this lifetime, and maybe in some past lives you just were not in alignment with that. So it's a blessing, honestly, that you're even interested in tarot or oracle readings right now. You know, because in past lives maybe you were just reactive, getting by, you know, barely getting by. It does seem like you were maybe a little stagnant, maybe some addictions, maybe some things that were imbalanced. in your connections or in your... I'm just feeling... My cats are being so loud. Just feeling like in the past you were not aligned to yourself. In past lifetimes you were not aligned to your highest potential, expansive potential, capacity, all of that stuff. You're getting into that in this lifetime. There's just this need to remember, clear that belief that you're not going to be able to build anything, because that's not true, okay? And we got two of these. We have happiness and success. That is exactly what I'm telling you right now, okay? In your past lives, you were not fully connected to this happiness and success. You weren't fully connected to yourself. I think you were working on it, but you were so reactive that it is hard to... Alright, so I'm getting Sagittarius vibes all of a sudden. You know, Temperance is the card of Sagittarius, and I'm just got this thought of like experimenting. There's this, I think in past lives you could have been struggling to find the thing that mattered to you. You struggled to find the thing that set you apart. You struggled to find the passion that was what you were there for. So you felt like maybe you didn't have a purpose. But the truth is you were just disconnected to that purpose because of some kind of imbalance. And I know Temperance isn't in reverse, but this is just the energy from it. Because of this Eight of Wands in reverse, it does feel like you never got there. You never made it there. But in this lifetime, I'm telling you, you are capable of breaking through that. Getting back in alignment with yourself. Finding this happiness and success for yourself. This is definitely something you need to work through. So, what needs work through from past lives? It is your connection to the divine and to your highest potential. We're expanding that so that we can find this joy, success, happiness, and balance in life. And we don't have to be reactive. You're being called to process everything that has to do with being in alignment with yourself. Not just with yourself, but with your potential. There's a lot of fire energy here. Just like in here with the wands and the Sagittarius card. Like these colors here. There's a lot of, I'm feeling passion. Your passion in your past lives was maybe channeled into competitiveness, anger, reactivity, some struggle, some lack of momentum. There was a lack of momentum because of this imbalance, and so like all of that energy was actually being used detrimentally, forgetting your own path and trying to fight and compete in a certain path, really forgetting your potential. So in this lifetime we're going to remember our potential. Our shadow work is about remembering our worthiness, our potential, and the fact that we get to create our life. Nothing that is meant for us can be taken from us. Nothing. Alright, so we're going to go into how to begin our shadow work. Probably going to get a lot more insight at exactly how you're supposed to, or maybe just like what can help you dig into this wounding and heal this. Alright, so for this part, we're going to start once again with the tarot. We're actually going to use the Prism Oracle a little more than we had in the past few readings. So, Ten of Wands in reverse. Two of Wands. The Chariot. Six of Cups in reverse. Wow. Alright. So, there is an ignition. That's the word coming through. of passion here. The Chariot here is some Cancer energy, but also it's a going your own way, choosing your own path type of vibe. So, Ten of Wands in reverse, we are releasing burdens, relieving some pressure, releasing burdens. And with the Six of Cups in reverse, it's telling me that we're releasing some burdens from the past. That's exactly what we want. It's a good sign. So the way that we're going to begin our shadow work here for this pile, best way to start healing these core wounds, you're going to start working on trusting yourself and following your passions. You're going to follow your passions. You're going to recognize the exact place you need to put your foot, and you're going to start taking one step at a time and trusting yourself. You're going to start trusting yourself, and that's going to help you break away from these misconceptions from your past that you couldn't trust yourself, that it wasn't good enough, that it wasn't working out.
Hello, oh my...
Hold on a second. Struggle. Okay. Sorry, technical difficulties. Whatever. We're going to start trusting ourselves. Let's pull out some of these cards. Protection. Death. Okay. Anger. Hello. And determination. So, we are cleansing this idea that we are not supported. We're clearing out this anger, and we're channeling it into actually making the best decisions for us and moving forward. We're going to channel this anger into determination, and we're going to begin to trust that we are protected and guided. We know what's best for us. We know what lights us on fire. We're going to start following that, what lights us on fire, and we're going to clear these burdens from the past. We're ending this cycle of anger. We're ending this cycle of feeling insecure and having, no control, like you are in control. But let's also surrender. Let's also surrender these ideas and concepts that what we create is not going to be good enough, because yes, it is. Because you know what's best for you. You channel your anger into determination. You start clearing out this energy of sabotage, I guess. Feeling like you are unsafe to create because your creations may not amount to anything in comparison to other people. Who cares? That's not even true. Not a true belief. That is what we're working on. So we have healing, absolutely. And then we have connect with your womb. Listen. In past lives, I do feel like you were in very masculine energy, very assertive, aggressive energy. That is not the energy here. So the fact that we have connect with your womb, as well as the card of Cancer, the Chariot, I feel like you are being asked to nurture what sets you on fire. You are being asked to heal and nurture the part of you, maybe more intuitive, more feminine, more creative part of you. And look at these colors. Art is very similar in a way. You see that? See, like, there's a womb, like, right here, if you want to view it that way. All this light. You don't have to have a womb to connect to this energy, just so you know. This is really just the divine creation energy, the very divine nurturing creativity. Okay, so for me, red and anger and all of those, although they seem maybe masculine from most people's standpoint, I do sense this very creative, feminine energy. And I do sense this intuitive energy when it comes to that intense passion. So the Two of Wands here is really about joining of two passions into a brighter, bigger thing. That's how I am viewing it. And so for me, this how to start your shadow work is really about honing your creativity and really digging into what makes you feel creative, what makes you feel like proud of your creativity. And it doesn't have to be art. So healing connects with your womb, the Chariot, anger, protection. It's also possible that you have some shadow work surrounding not feeling protected, and so you closed off this part of you. I don't want to be triggering, but if you are a female and maybe have struggled with some kind of, literal sexual trauma, it's possible that could cut you off from feeling protected or feeling like, for some people, like, it could really change drastically how you feel about your self-worth and how you feel about other people. Other people, if they hurt you enough and you don't feel protected, it can be really hard to trust that anybody could be good to you. It can be really hard to trust that anything can work out for you. I do resonate. I do understand that. I don't want to trigger anyone, but I'm telling you, when you start stepping back into this power and you heal this yourself, and you channel your anger, and you really just keep moving, keep putting one foot in front of the other, keep really respecting your own passion and really following what matters to you, what you are passionate about. And I really hope that makes you start trusting yourself again. And not even just yourself, but trusting that, I've said it a million times, but what you build and put your power and passion and integrity behind, that will be successful. You will have, let's look at that again. You will have success with that. You will have happiness. Look at these colors even all go together. Being aligned with yourself. So being aligned with yourself, it's not about like, oh yeah, like I know myself, I know what I'm interested in, yeah, I watch videos about that, or like, sometimes I like doing this thing, yeah, that's fine. But no, it's really, remember, expansion, your capacity as a human being, your potential as a human being is so much bigger than you've been living and you've been surviving day to day. Yeah, I'm not talking about your hobbies. I'm not talking about your interests. Those are involved. I'm not talking about these tiny things, okay? I'm saying you are worthy. You are the creator. You do have a lot of passion and power within you that you haven't been expressing because you're afraid that you won't be protected, you won't be supported, that you won't find success. Listen, when you're in alignment, you will. Confidence. Might have struggled with, yeah. This anxiety. It's not a tell, I'm telling you. This anxiety probably came from your past life. Fight or flight mode. That's what I'm getting. So the only one that can sabotage your success in this lifetime is yourself by not taking action on anything. You go your own way. Don't be afraid of going your own way. That's the only way. Going your own way is the only way. Your shadow work you need to do is to dive into what makes you you. Not your anxiety, not your insecurity, not things that make you angry. You can take a look at those. But how we're really starting our shadow work, even though we will probably dig into that, you will if you keep going. What is really, really being called to attention here it's how you move forward. I don't think you're being called to go inward, be hermit mode, and really, you know, do a deep dive into the darkest aspects of you. I think for you, starting your shadow work is really about getting back into things that you're passionate about and really slowly moving forward. Your shadow work is not as intense. And I mean, there is a little feeling that it's because of how deep some of these wounds go that you don't want to go deep. I don't think you want to go down a rabbit hole. I think what would be best for you, this vibe I'm getting, is doing little like trust exercises with yourself. Doing things for yourself that light you on fire and help build that momentum so that you can better channel this energy. Anxiety is an energy. Listen, if you know how strong anxiety is and you know how strong anger is, you know how strong those feelings can be. Imagine if you transmuted those by trusting yourself and trusting that you're going to put your foot in the right place. Imagine if you could transmute those into success and happiness. You can transmute this energy into confidence that will help boost you into moving forward with momentum to what is in alignment with you, what will bring success and happiness. Absolutely, that's possible for you. I'm going to get some final messages, and I think I'm actually going to just pull them from this deck. Different little tarot deck here. Let's get some final messages. I don't know how clear this was, but I'm seeing strength in the Empress right here. Again, this feeling of nurturing the creative part of yourself, nurturing the part of you that is stable and knows exactly what is right for you. We're going to nurture that. That's how we're going to start our shadow work. We're not going to remind ourselves of all of our pain. We're not going to remind ourselves of everything terrible. We're just going to recognize that these energies live within us. And then we're going to transmute those into putting one step forward. And when you get to the next point of your life and you are in alignment and you realize how much healing you've done, maybe you'll go into another step of shadow work, you know, maybe, but you will already have ended all of these negative cycles. I want you to know that that is such a blessing, getting back in tune with yourself. Such a blessing. So let's just get final messages about this healing, shadow work, and things that need processed here. Final messages. Got 3 of Swords in reverse. So that is releasing that betrayal energy from earlier. We actually already got this card. This feeling of betrayal or disappointment, severe pain, heartbreak, releasing that. Okay. That is exactly what is happening. Pull a few more just for the last messages. Mother of Pentacles. So, this is the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So, it does seem like clearing out this heartbreak, betrayal, abandonment energy. So that we can find security in ourselves. Right now, I mean, this is in reverse, so maybe right now is the time where your little baby steps are going to help start to release this pin-up stuff, and maybe your insecurities are going to come out. Thank you. Thank you. But then, sorry about that. Ugh. Then, goodness, we're going to channel that into our own direction we're taking here. Okay, just like a couple more cards just for these final messages here. Okay, the 7 of Swords, and let's get another one. And Death. Death again. Alright. And then the Emperor in reverse on the bottom of the deck. So it does seem like there's an imbalance when it comes to your feminine, masculine aspects. Doesn't matter what gender you are, feminine, masculine aspects in all of us. I do feel like that's being called to attention here. Like you've been living in a very masculine state, and you need to tap back into nurturing yourself, nurturing your passions, your reason for being here. And so the Seven of Swords, we're being asked to here really clear out the insecurity. So what we need to do is we need to take a look at all of our coping mechanisms, all of the things we're going through, what isn't working, what isn't helping me heal, what is getting in the way of me taking a step. If you're really struggling to even take a step, maybe do just a little assessment for yourself. What can I do to maybe change my schedule or change my routine a little bit to just give myself a little more confidence? What things can I do to help build maybe my confidence and get out of this cycle of not acting because of fear of it just not working out? Okay, so I like that death came out. I really do feel like this is what you're moving towards. It just might be like one step at a time. You know, we got a black bird here and a white bird here. It's a yin-yang, masculine, feminine balance. We had temperance earlier. I think a lot of you are searching for that alignment, that balance. That's how you're going to move forward. That's how you're going to do your shadow work. Your shadow work is going to involve getting into the shadows to find your passions and then taking steps towards those passions. You don't have to go so deep that it's scary and you feel alone, because you might already feel alone. But no, you're protected. You're protected. You're protected by the universe. You're protected. You're being asked to create from the space of just infinite potential. You're being asked to create everything. Happiness, success. That's yours if you follow yourself. That's yours. You are protected. That's one thing that you may not have realized for a long time, is how protected you are, how genuinely guided, supported infinitely you are. You've struggled with that in multiple lifetimes. Trusting yourself and trusting that what is right for you will happen and not be taken from you, not be destroyed, you know? Your potential is really high. You are an expansive human being. I hope that was beneficial. I hope I didn't trigger anybody. I hope that this has helped anyone that watches it. And this is just pile one. So I don't know what the other two are going to have in store for me, but if you're called to any of those, then go ahead and watch those too. We don't all just have one core wound. We might have one big one, yes, but we don't all just have one core wound. We have been indoctrinated, you know, from a young age in past lives. You know, we definitely have brought that karma with us, and it's really hard to like sort through all of these things, but there are many core wounds that we have, and if we take a look at them and we try to release that, it is really beneficial, okay? It is very beneficial. Shadow work is very beneficial for healing. Shadow work is beneficial. Literally, this is the purpose of shadow work right here. Healing all miasma, trauma, negative things that are not serving us, so that we can be in alignment, and then we can create anything. That is the purpose of shadow work. Purpose of shadow work is to be able to better trust ourselves, that our intentions that we set will be manifested in this reality. We are in control. Okay? I just feel like I need to mention that. This is the point of shadow work. Connecting with our womb. It almost looks like creation in the middle of a void. That's exactly what we're doing in shadow work. We're shining a light in the void so that we can see what is aligned with us, and we can heal what is not aligned with us to get into alignment and create anything. All right. So this has been over 40 minutes, so I'm going to leave that there. Let's get into pile 2. If you're called to 2 or 3, hop over there with me. Hopefully you get something from this. There you go. Okay. Hello, pile 2. So my cats are having a blast today, so if there's any crazy sounds in the background, it's probably just my cats. But we're still gonna get into it. So this reading is in 3 parts. Part 1 is some stuff that you need to work through and some feelings and stuff that needs processed from this incarnation. Then part 2 is going to be past lives, what needs processed from your past lives. And then we're going to get into what the best way for you to really dig in and do that shadow work is. So, first of all, we are going to take a look at this incarnation and what maybe needs processed from your past during this incarnation, or just maybe stuff you've dealt with that kind of affects you today still from this lifetime specifically. So we have Daughter of Swords, Mother of Wands, and Judgment. Okay, so the Daughter of Swords is, I believe, like the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords, very inquisitive, curious sort here. Mother of Wands is like the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is a very strong, full of potential, powerful, creative, determined individual here. And then Judgment is all about standing in your authenticity, standing in your truth, or coming to recognition of a truth or your truth. Also, that's a kitten you're hearing. Its mother is moving it into a different corner, and it's loud. Very sweet sounding, though. Sorry, I might cut this out. Probably will cut this out. I'm just waiting. So, maybe there's a chance you've suppressed a lot of your creative ideas, so it didn't really solidify into like who you are. You don't view yourself as a creative, intelligent, proud person, when maybe that's actually who you are inside. These are just the tarot cards. Let me see. Let's pull out some self-care cards. So we have Sing, Dream Journal, Meditate, and Look for Fairies. Wow. Yeah, so for me, it seems like growing up, you weren't really allowed to be your actual self. It seems like there's a part of you that's very connected to the divine, very fun, curious, look for fairies. Like, when you were a kid, maybe you couldn't really be as eccentric or childlike as you want to be. Maybe you have a passion for singing, or like your dreams are really impressive and you have a lot of brilliant ideas that you really, could bring to this earth. But growing up, there's this, you weren't allowed to be yourself. You weren't allowed to be as eccentric as you are. You weren't allowed to put all of your passions out there. You learned to maybe speak in a way or try to think in a way that was closer to what other people expected for you. That's just a big feeling I'm getting here, even though it's not necessarily all in here. Seeing Judgment here as something that needs worked through, that's very much about acknowledging what your truth is. And your truth might be a little more eccentric than what you felt like you were allowed to be perceived as, or were allowed to express. So it seems like, I don't know, like all of these eggs and the mama snake, keeping them warm and incubating them, it almost feels like, I know it's the wands, but with the Daughter of Swords here, it almost feels like you have so many ideas that have been incubating. And when you were really young, you constantly got new concepts and ideas, but you felt like you couldn't express them because they were a little too out there, maybe. Looking for fairies, or, I can connect with that. Or, wanting to sing or share these ideas, these dreams of yours, and just, you weren't able to express them as effectively as you really should have or would have wanted to in the past. Interesting. All right, so we have these two. Let's see. Flow and surrender. Interesting. I kind of want to read the book for these. So surrender is definitely about, I mean, surrender and flow going together, obviously surrendering to the flow. That's something you have to do. You can barely see the kind of cut off there. But I really want to read flow again. I'll just read flow for you guys. Let's see what flow says in this book for the Prism Oracle. Alright, it says, the name aquamarine is derived from two Latin words, aqua and marina, meaning seawater. This card is about going with the flow, changing and adapting to a situation rather than fighting against it. It's important to keep in mind that currents can be very strong, and water always gets to where it wants to go, slowly carving away stone as it flows by. Let this thought guide you on your journey, and let the water carry you to where you need to go. That was really interesting. So flow and surrender definitely go hand in hand here. You will end up where you need to go if you just go with the flow. You know? Maybe you were highly intuitive when you were younger and you actually did see fairies. Or like you were actually getting a lot of insights that you really wanted to share. And they would come to you when they needed to, probably. But for some reason there was a suppression of who you really are. Like your power was suppressed a lot. That's something I think you need to work on is taking back the power and reminding yourself that you are allowed to express these brilliant ideas. You are allowed to manifest these brilliant ideas that you have. And if you just keep going with the flow. So as you go with the flow, I'm sure you will get new insights. It's really about what you're going to do with those. Are you going to surrender to these thoughts coming in and who you really are and express these ideas? Or are you going to fight them? Are you going to fight the current of these ideas and concepts coming to you? Are you going to fight the current of your actual power trying to come out? Are you going to fight these ideas that although they are eccentric, they are beneficial to be expressed? Are you going to go with that flow and allow yourself to express those things, to learn new ways to express them, to stand up for yourself? I have to save my cat. One moment. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing for this lifetime. Hopefully that resonated. That was very interesting. I definitely resonate with that. This might be my pile. I don't know. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Definitely. Alright, so second part. This is going to be past lives. Some things that need worked out from your past lives. This is the wrong pile. Things that need worked out from your past lives. That maybe you brought in here into this lifetime with you. And it needs processed in order for you to really, I don't know, come out of hiding, I guess. You know, this is a shadow work reading. I don't know where it will lead you, but I promise it'll lead you to more authentic truths. I can tell you that. So, past lives. 8 of Swords. Temperance in reverse. And the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. Seems like in a past life you really struggled between your own perceptions, your own thoughts, and what was already in order. It seems like you maybe had thoughts that you felt were contrary to what power was in place. I'm not sure exactly what you would have experienced in a past life, but there's some kind of order, some kind of cohesive religion or something like that. Oh goodness. The cats will not stop interrupting me this time. Kitty. Oh, they won't stop. I'm sorry. How much do I have to cut out? I'm gonna miss at least 50% of this. Okay, alright. Seems like whatever order was in place, whatever religious sector, whatever organization, whatever group, whatever perceived status quo, you had trouble in your own mind. You felt like in your past you had trouble adding up to that. You know, you felt like you thought differently, and maybe you even criticized yourself for these thoughts that were contrary. You really beat yourself up over the fact that you don't really agree with maybe everything that is happening in this situation, in this organization. The status quo was not right to you, and maybe you craved freedom from that, but you didn't know how to balance that. You didn't know how to balance everybody's expectations with your own perception of yourself, and maybe you struggled with that in a past life. Yeah, it seems like you put yourself in a box because of the expectations of everyone else in maybe your environment or in your society or whatever was happening. Let's get into these cards. High heart chakra, ecstatic bliss. Shine your light, number 44. Communication, co-creation. And the infinite. Okay. Yeah, so communication, co-creation. Maybe you were having a hard time balancing what your dreams were with what the people around you wanted, or what the people around you expected. You had so much compassion for the people around you, but you always perceived more in a past life. I'm really seeing that you perceived more than the people around you. But you felt like if you were to ever express your truth or shine your light, that it would have backfired. You were so critical of yourself. You expected it to maybe not work out just because of the people around you, other people's criticisms. You had this so much power and creative potential and so much compassion and empathy for everyone around you that you really put yourself in a box for them. You put yourself in a box and didn't balance anything. You just kind of connected with them and did what you could that would be best for everyone. And I hope that's not mean. Like, this is just what I'm seeing from your past life. It's always something we can work through. This is a shadow work reading. It's possible some of you have carried this idea of fitting other people's expectations instead of really expressing your truth. Let me see these cards here. You have strength and isolation. So yeah, you had the strength to follow through with whatever anyone else wanted while suppressing yourself, and it left you in isolation feeling disconnected. You felt like your impact didn't matter. You had the strength to hold on, keep everything within you, moderate yourself, suppress yourself in your own thoughts. It left you feeling very, I don't want to say disconnected, because you did this for other people because of this compassion. Like, clearly there was maybe a little bit of fear of upsetting people, and that's why you suppressed your thoughts. You didn't want to upset anyone that is different from the norm, that is different from these expectations. You were strong enough to do that. I know how much strength it takes building walls around your heart. It's I'm sure you know. Isolation here, I feel like most of your thoughts and your greatest ideas and things that you really thought would be beneficial, most of that was done in secret, in private. you wouldn't express that with anybody. You wouldn't express these ideas. You had this tiny bubble of thought, and you criticized yourself for that in your own mind. I feel like in a past life, and maybe you carried that into your mind today, maybe you are very self-critical. And when it comes to wanting to fit in with the norm, the status quo, an organization, a group of people, when you wanted to fit into that, you would suppress your own thoughts. You wouldn't even try to think of these thoughts. That's why you were disconnected. For other people's sake, you completely walled yourself off from allowing yourself to have thoughts outside the norm because you wanted to fit in. It's not that simple. It's not a middle school fitting in, learning about myself kind of fitting in. It's a very, you criticized yourself because maybe other people criticized you in a certain organization every time that you went kind of outside of the status quo. Every time there was a little bit too eccentric, maybe you were attacked for it. Maybe you were punished for that, and you started criticizing yourself over that. It's very interesting. So that's what I'm getting for past life. I don't want to say it's a religious organization. I don't want to say, like, you know, it's a cult or it's like governing a city, or like, I don't know, but it doesn't really matter, because I think the theme that is carried over into this life, it's definitely the self-critical beliefs and not expressing yourself for fear of upsetting someone, or, you know, maybe not thinking that your ideas are even worthy of attention because they don't fit in with the status quo. I think you might have those kind of limiting beliefs in this lifetime that you carry through. So now we're gonna pop out this one. This is how to best begin your shadow work. What is the best process for you to begin your shadow work? What would be the best way for you to even start digging into this stuff? Let's see. I want to start with the tarot like I have been for this. 10 of Pentacles, the Magician in reverse, Father of Swords, the 2 of Wands in reverse. Alright. So, it looks like first steps first, you gotta remember how worthy you are of this abundance here. You must know you are objectively, the Father of Swords here, this is the King of Swords. You must know objectively what you deserve, what you don't deserve. You know what's right. You know you're worthy. You gotta know that. Alright? So it looks like with the Magician in reverse and the 2 of Wands in reverse, it looks like we are being called to learn and master ourselves here, but also the 2 of Wands in reverse. This is like very weird vibe. It feels like there is a need to get rid of whatever is creating like friction. There's something creating friction in your life. You're trying and trying to put two things together that just they don't go together. That's not going to create mastery. That's not going to get you abundance, you know. You're misperceiving something. There's two things you're trying to rub together. It's creating friction. It's not growing. It's just bursting into flames and then dying, and it's destroyed. There's this need to, I say balance in a lot of readings, but this kind of balance is different. It's like you're juggling knives and balloons, and you're expecting that if you keep juggling them, they're not going to break. They're not going to just completely be crushed, all the wind's knocked out, and then they're on the ground in tiny pieces. There's something like that. You're expecting that. I don't know what you're expecting to happen there. It's not working. It's not working. You're expecting something to happen by merging these two things together. These two things don't go together. There is another way. There's another way, and you need to look at every angle every element of this. Look at every element of this and really see what's creating friction. What could I use instead? What could I do instead? What could be a slight change I can do instead so that it would allow these two things to work together? What would allow these two? I don't know if the balloons and swords example is going to work anymore, but I said knives. Whatever. Two things creating friction, not working. You are being called to figure out what that thing is. That's how you start shadow work. Let me try to clarify this. It is a little confusing. All right. Sadness, anxiety, pain, and rejection. Ooh. Also being told there's something that you perceive as there being friction between. But when you change this one aspect and you get it to work together, that's going to create abundance for you. And you're not going to... Okay, so you have sadness, anxiety, pain, and rejection. That is wild. Clearly there is a belief that you're not worthy of this abundance for some reason. You have anxiety about creating this thing, probably because of this friction that you're recognizing. Something feels off. Something's not quite right. What needs to be shifted for this to work for me? You have some anxiety about that because you're still getting things together. That's fine. I think you need to take maybe an objective look on pain. If you're experiencing pains, if you're experiencing headaches or toothaches or stomach aches, or like your bones are aching, or you feel a little off, or you feel dehydrated and stuff, you're gonna not be scared of that. You're just gonna take a moment and you are going to take an objective look and say, okay, what can I do to make this better? What is happening? Could this mean something spiritual for me that I'm feeling this? Or could this be connected to this? Could this be connected to something I ate? Could this be connected to that? Whatever, there's a slight thing that needs changed, and if it has anything to do with like illness or pain or anything, there you go. If it could be emotional pain, you're being asked to look objectively at that. Where did it start? Where did the emotional pain start? What would help you recognize that it wasn't your fault? Anything like that. If that resonates, I really hope it does. And then rejection here. So there could be something, a fear of two things in union. There could be a fear that that would be rejected. Now, I'm not feeling that it will be. It seems like this is a part of your self-worth feeling. You feel like anytime something's going right for you, people around you might reject it and not support you in that. And that is something you need to heal and work on, because that's not true. You are inherently worthy. You're being called to look objectively on everything. What is working for you? What hasn't worked in the past? What isn't going to work? And I think that will take away some of the anxiety about this too. I think this is a really good way to start shadow work. Really take I wanted to say query. I don't know. That's where stones are. Take an objective, grounded look. I'll take it. I'll take it as a message, whatever. Take a grounded, rocky look from an objective standpoint. What's creating friction in your life that could easily be changed with just one little thing? Let's look at these two. So we have, ground yourself. Ground yourself. Yes. Ground yourself. You're feeling anxiety, pain, sadness. You're going to ground yourself and you're going to take a deep dive. You're going to say, why am I worthy? And why do I feel like I'm not? Look at why you feel like you're not worthy. Take a look. Really objectively be like, okay, maybe I'm afraid of them rejecting me because of this feeling of not being worthy. And maybe this feeling of not being worthy to express, not being worthy to connect, not being worthy of uniting passions together to create a bigger amount of abundance. Maybe that is just because of something from childhood, or like maybe you were criticized too much. Maybe you had a really overly critical parent. Maybe, it could be a lot of things, but you're being asked to ground yourself because you're gonna know. if you start to look at this from a very objective, I don't want to say black and white because that's not it, but it's a very, you want to be matter of fact when you're doing the shadow work, because you are inherently worthy. That's step one, okay? I just keep, step one, you are inherently worthy. So when you are in meditation and you're thinking about these things objectively, it's going to look a little bit like, this is causing me pain, friction, turmoil. I don't want it. This is something that is good for me, is healing. It is a little bit of duality, but not in a negative context at all. You are being told to look with duality and objectivity. It's a very Libra vibe, actually. You're being called to look and really balance the scales out. Two things aren't working, balance the scales out. What would make it work? What would give you this abundance? What would help? When you're grounded, you'll know. And reclaim your energy. Yeah. You need to reclaim your energy for sure. All of the criticism from yourself or from other people, you don't need that. If there's something that is you're passionate about, that will create abundance for you. If there's something you are trying to create, manifest, join together, unify, two very important passions, or two things that are definitely going to create momentum and abundance in your life. If the only thing holding you back is this rejection and all of this stuff that came from other people, ground yourself and reclaim all of that energy back to yourself. Just call it all back into yourself. That is not those people that criticize you. It's energy. It's your energy. Pull it back into yourself. Use that to really solve this friction problem. If there is friction, what can I do to either let that friction bolster me into more momentum and gaining this abundance, or use that energy to try to figure out how to ease the friction so that something works more efficiently from an objective standpoint. You would know what that is for you. I don't, but that's the best way to start. To start is to ground yourself, reclaim, call all your energy back to yourself until you truly believe that you are worthy. And what you're going to look at is all of these situations in your life where things are trying to add up and they just don't. They just don't. And you need to realize that it doesn't matter anyone else's perceptions. You know. Okay. You know how to make it work more efficiently. You just need to remember you're worthy, and other people's opinions don't really have anything to do with this for you. All right. I think that is it. I did pick some extra tarot cards for pile 1. I think I might do that for you as well. But just because that fairy card came out earlier, I'm going to use the Mystic Fairy Tarot here to really get some like last messages. Let's see. Last messages for pile 2, shadow work journey. What else needs tacked on here? What would be beneficial for pile 2 to hear? Final messages here. Okay. We have the Tower in reverse. 5 of Wands in reverse. Okay. So this is an end of a tumultuous time, actually. Maybe you got all this pain, anxiety, and sadness from this rejection that happened in the past. That was a really... maybe there was some situation where there was a lot of anger, or not disappointment, like criticism. Competition in a relationship, or in a familial relationship, or like something like that, that really, it broke. It might have broken you. Maybe this is something you could focus on and see, why didn't that work, and why is something else better potential for my abundance? Pull a couple more here. The Fool in reverse. Yeah, so you're struggling to trust in love, maybe, or in the universe, or trust that Trust that any criticism or any competitive thing, like, there might be this feeling that if you're competing against anybody, then you would never win. There's this idea that you just don't trust in yourself, and you aren't going with the flow. Or maybe in the past you've felt this. You felt that. It goes back to that worth, you know? You have to trust that you are worthy enough to get what you deserve. You have to trust that. Then the King of Swords here again. So this is the King of Swords. And we got the King of Swords again. So I just need you to know, you take a look objectively, take a look at your life, take stock of your life. You realize you don't deserve that. You're worthy inherently. This is obvious. These are obvious things. You can trust because you have inherent worth. You have inherent worth that it doesn't get taken away by competition. It doesn't get taken away by people's rejection of you. You need to take a look objectively at your sadness, your anxiety, your pain, these past rejections, the things you're trying to create that aren't like working together. You need to realize you are inherently worthy of your own energy because it is your own energy. Of course you're worthy of your own energy. It's your energy. Ground yourself. It's yours. You are worthy of this abundance. It's coming for you. Okay? It's the trust and the surrender, the flow. The thoughts that you have, you know, if you look objectively. The bottom of the deck energy there is the Eight of Swords. So yes, it does seem like you're fighting with your own mind here. These are self-critical beliefs. You're keeping yourself tied up. You're in a box. This came out earlier in the other part of your reading. You're keeping yourself in a box of things don't work out for me. You're lacking your own energy. You feel tired. You're maybe exhausted. You don't know why. Everything feels like a competition. You feel like you can't surrender. You can't let go of this tension. You can't let go of this tension that you have. Because if you were to do that, then everything would break apart. But the truth is, you're grounded. You are grounded. You ground yourself. Reclaim your own energy. Look at it in a dualistic way. See, this was right for me. This was wrong for me. Now, keep open mind as well. That's why I don't like saying, oh, be dualistic. Like, that can be a struggle. That can be a very dogmatic, closed-minded thing to do. But I mean it from a different perspective. I mean, it will be easier for you to begin looking at these things with that lens of, this was not good that this happened to me. I forgive myself for feeling those ways. I understand why I felt those ways objectively. And then looking at the flip side, being like, okay, these are the things that help me. These are good things to focus on. These are not good things to focus on. These are good things to focus on. That's what I mean. Definitely stay open-minded. Don't just get stuck on one thing. But you do know what's best for you. You do know, which is why these self-critical beliefs, if you look at them objectively, you will realize where they're coming from. And they're coming from the past most of the time. Even your past lives. When you felt like this is actually when this came up in the second part of your reading of past lives. You kept yourself in a box. It's time to get out of the box of other people's perceptions, other people's opinions, other people's ideas, other people's, oh, you know what? I actually think it'd be better if you did that with this, when you know inside you need to do this and this instead. You need to do this and this. Somebody's like, no. I think that would go better if you did this and this, actually. But you know inside that's not right. You need to follow yourself. Reclaim your energy. This is your idea, not theirs, okay? That's for some of you. You're looking at a shadow work reading. You're looking into yourself. You're going to fix this. You are reclaiming your energy and grounding yourself and claiming your worth and your abundance. I'm so proud of you. I'm sure you can hear it from my passion. I'm so proud of you. Who cares what they think? This is your energy, not theirs. Don't let the vampires take it from you. Don't let the vampires in your past that destroyed your self-worth have any more of that. This sadness, this anxiety, this pain, give it back to them. Who cares? Their rejection is, This one made me a little angry at the end. I'm intrigued. I'm being triggered. This is personal. It could be spirit giving me some anger. Definitely happens, but I feel like maybe this is another pile. I think every reading that I'm doing, I relate to, which I love. That's definitely, I want to bring authenticity to this channel, so that's beautiful. But I think pile 2 might be my pile. So if you resonate with this, then hello, friend. Hello, family. We clearly are on similar paths. I am so proud of you. And I really need you to realize you are inherently worthy. Inherently worthy. Nothing else that's ever happened, past lives, this life, your past, anything, doesn't matter. You are inherently worthy. And now you are taking the time to actually look at your life and make a checklist of the things you need. And I'm so proud of you. Because you thought you weren't allowed to. People would be defensive, be like, oh, you want to do that? Well, you can't do that. Or, oh, no, that's not the way to do that. Or, we don't do that. We don't do that. They do that, and okay, but we don't do that. Maybe that's not true for you, you know? Just... And the fan came on? Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. I really hope you got something out of that. I know I did. I'm really appreciative of this reading. So thanks, Spirit. Thank your higher selves who definitely orchestrated you being here. Thank you for even wanting to try to better yourself or help yourself, because I know sadness, anxiety, and pain are not feelings that we like sitting in for too long, and stress is not good for the body, so we need to get out of this chronic stress situation. Do not put yourself in a bad position for other people. Do not put yourself in a situation where you have no energy, you're exhausted physically, you don't feel good, you don't want to do these things. Don't do that. You know what's best for you. You are worthy of time and space. You are worthy of attention. You are worthy of taking time out. You are worthy of doing more. You're worthy inherently of any of the things that you feel like you need to do, and you need to trust, flow, surrender to whatever needs to happen at that moment. Because what needs to happen at that moment is not you have to stay 5 hours hanging with somebody who's disrespecting you. No, you don't. No, you don't, just for their sake. What about you? You matter. You are inherently worthy, objectively worthy. You are as worthy as that other person. You need to realize where you need to reclaim your energy and what you really need to do to orchestrate this abundance for yourself. Okay, now I'm gonna leave it there. This one made me very passionate. Clearly, I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you loved that. I am, again, very proud of you. Pile 2. Alright. I'm excited for this one. So, pile 3. It's probably obvious, just for continuity reasons, that these have been recorded over multiple days. I've been wearing different things. I feel like my nails might have changed slightly because I repainted them. Anyway, it's chill. I've just been really busy, so it's just finally time that I can get to pile 3. So I've been busy. I got the first 2 recorded. It's your turn now. So, like the rest of the piles, we're going to start by looking into what needs processed from this incarnation, from your past, in this lifetime. Then we're going to look into past lives and what needs processed from past lives, and then we'll get into the what's the best process or best way to start healing or doing the shadow work. I'm really excited for this one because this is the last pile, so I'm going to be able to actually edit this video and upload it and possibly help someone. That's really my favorite part of this, so I sure hope you get something from it, pile 3. So in this lifetime, let's look at what needs processed, starting with the tarot cards. 10 of Wands in reverse. Ace of Wands. Page of Wands. Wow. All wands. And just so you know, the way I shuffle these, I shuffle them face down, and then I keep the groups together until I'm ready to record them, so I haven't seen this. So I'm just as, like, I knew I was excited for some reason. Double fire sign, Leo Sagittarius here, so I really appreciate seeing wands and creativity. I'm also life path 3. Really love this. This is my element here. Okay. So what needs process from this lifetime? It really seems like, wow, I get a big vibe that you're already doing like a great job. You're already doing a great job at learning how to release your energy in a very, very good way. I mean, so the Ten of Wands here, it looks like you're being able to release your energy without any heaviness. You seem very, I'm getting very Sagittarius vibes here. There's a kind of airiness that lets you like move on to the next creative endeavor, you know, without many burdens. That's a very interesting energy. So what needs processed? I guess you're just going to keep growing into processing your own energy for creative reasons or your passion. You're going to be able to yeah, what needs process is all of the information and things you've learned that allow you to use this energy and transform this passion you have into actually focus on those things and to really Page of Wands here is like starting a new creative venture, starting a new like having a passion, like a new spark shows up. This is like going after a new spark. This new spark could be this Ace of Wands. It really just feels like you're learning the best way for you to release the excess energy that you have by channeling it into new interests. So what needs process could be that you've been possibly feeling like some creative thing you were doing wasn't really going anywhere, and that excess energy that could have gone towards making that better was actually draining your energy a little because you were channeling it into things that were not really freestanding. That is an interesting energy. Feeling that like you've already learned a lot of these lessons, you're just being asked to keep moving towards that new spark. Let me get some more. Let me get the self-care oracle cards. So build strength, sound healing, connect with fire, of course. The Suit of Wands is the element of fire. Absolutely connecting with fire here and passion. And then soak in a bath. So we're bringing water into it too. Okay. Okay. Even though it's mostly like passion, power, creativity, fire, the best way to do that is still to surrender to flow. And that's a very water element thing to say. But the thing is, with all creative ventures, you know that you are on the right track when you're in alignment with yourself. And in you do go flow creatively. Like, it's not really just water, it's just the way energy moves. So this passion and spark is honestly, creativity is kind of fluid because you just do whatever spark lights you up enough to do it, like to draw something or to write something, whatever is inspiring you. That is kind of being in flow. When you're in alignment with yourself as a creative, it is easier to grab onto the concepts and ideas that come to you and spark your inspiration, and then like use that to channel into those creative projects. So here we have build strength, which strength in tarot is Leo. So I'm feeling very creative vibes still. What needs process is this belief that we feel incapable, or like we aren't strong enough to do something that we want to do. Connect with fire. Realize that you have that within you. You have that passion. You have that power. You have that. Soak in a bath. Sound healing. So sound and also like water. I'm still feeling this flow. Like maybe listening to some kind of music could inspire you. Maybe taking some time to really relax will bring more creativity to you. I'm really feeling music. Probably because it's a creative thing and sound healing here. I'm just feeling like you need to surround yourself in the right ambience and really build strength. For me really feels like you're empowering like maybe your solar plexus and sacral chakras. Like you're really getting to the root of who you are. I like how I said root after that. They're all connected. Okay. But you're really getting to the root of who you are so that you can better express and be strong in yourself, strong in your own will, your own creative will. That's what you're building strength on. You see how it's build strength, but like they also have their third eye right here. So that's reminding me to follow that creative flow, using that energy. Yeah. Okay, so what you need to work on, what needs processed, I guess I could say, is all this excess energy that has gone to things that have beat you down. Because what is actually important is that you build strength in yourself. You have integrity in yourself. And when you have integrity in yourself, you connect to your inner fire and you give yourself a good environment to really feel into that. You will be inspired, and then that will be the creative flow. So when you are in alignment with yourself, you know who you are, it will be easier for you to see what things really call to you in that moment, what things really want to be expressed from you, how your passion really wants to be focused. That's what needs processed. But so we have energy, of course. It's all about energy, man, and abundance. So literally this, what needs process is your idea that you're not strong enough or capable enough to follow your inspirations. What really needs to happen is that you do follow those inspirations. You build yourself up enough to understand when you're inspired, and you channel that energy from that spark, from that creativity, from that creative flow. You channel that energy, direct that energy, focus that energy into what you really want to build, what will bring you abundance, what is in alignment for you, what will put you in the exact right spot. That's what needs processed. Your idea that you can't gain abundance because you, hello kitty cat, because possibly you're afraid to know yourself. It's a very strange, I'm just trying to feel the energy, and that's what it is. There's a lot of moving parts here. Hello, other kitty. Sorry, guys. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else here. Yeah, it's really, what needs processed is possibly this lack mentality, or just a vibe of lack that's coming from you not following your passions. The fan's gonna kick on. It's fine. It's fine. what needs processed is you not pursuing your feelings, and that creating an energy of lack in your life. Even if you're not thinking about it consciously, where you're channeling your energy is making it a little stagnant creatively. Because that energy is being channeled into things that are not wholesome. That's not really the word. They're not nutritious for your energy. It's not a fertile place for channeling your creative energy. So this energy is being, all of your passion, all of your inspiration, you are not moving forward on it, and so it's being transformed into other things. You're channeling your focus into possibly things like scrolling on social media or laying in bed all day, and that energy is actually being focused into things that don't fulfill you. It's not energy that creates momentum. It's actually just an energy that you're giving that energy into something else, and it is completely absorbing all of that. You're putting all your focus and energy into things that aren't going to give back. Where if you were to actually follow your creativity and follow the creative flow, you would have so much abundance, because you would have so much that you have given. And the universe will always repay you, because it's not that you're owed it. That's just how equal give and take works. When you give energy, that is what you'll receive. When you live in an energy, that is the energy you will continue receiving and perceiving in your reality. I hope that whoever needed, this is a very interesting one. I hope that was clear. It's a very hard energy. I understand it as a life path 3, but I don't know if I best really explained this. But if it's for you, I'm pretty sure you'll know. I'm pretty sure this will make sense for you. So let's get into your past lives, which this is honestly a really exciting one for me. It's so unique, I feel like. I'm excited. Okay. Just gonna put this here. Now into your past lives. So what needs processed from your past lives? We have the 8 of Wands in reverse, Queen of Cups in reverse, and 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Wow. This is very interesting. I'm getting so many messages that it's hard for me to really put into words. So in a past life, it seems like... Hey, what are you doing, cat? I'm sorry. In a past life, it seems like you had a lot of, you had to fight to not feel so alone. This is very interesting. So the 8 of Wands in reverse, this feels like stagnant energy. A lot of the times the 8 of Wands is like movement, quick pace, communication sometimes. Just something fast, but it's in reverse here. It seems like you had to fight to stay emotionally stable. It's such a strange message. So in a past life, it seems like you were working on releasing a lot of feelings of loneliness and abandonment. It seems like there's some kind of, you were afraid to move forward because of fear of abandonment in a past life. And I'm curious where that came from. It's possible that you brought a fear of abandonment into this lifetime, which is kind of similar to the other groups. Most of these groups have been similar. I can tell this one's very unique though, so I'm very curious who it's for, but as long as it helps. So we have the Queen of Cups in reverse as well. Queen of Cups is a very emotionally controlled queen. She can be cold because of how she can appear cold, at least. She's not really cold, but she has she's an equilibrium of emotion. But here, she's in reverse. It feels like maybe in a past life, you struggled with abandonment issues that possibly left you depressed or emotionally unstable. And it really made you afraid to move. You were afraid to move because of unstable emotions. I mean, I'm not trying to trigger anybody, but in a past life, it seems like you could have struggled to move forward. That's very interesting. Right, let's pull out these Lemurian oracle cards. Crystal keys, crown chakra, communication, co-creation. I think it was pile, I don't know, one of the other two piles had this card as well. And Realm Bridger. Okay. Every time I see Realm Bridger and Crown Chakra together, I think of channeling, and just like we saw in this incarnation, you seem to be a creative kind of person, so it's possible that you, whatever you create, through whatever you create, you're channeling something bigger. You're channeling other realms and bringing that into this one by creating different things. Like if you create a drawing, maybe that drawing has messages in it from a different realm, which definitely sounds woo-woo, but there are many dimensions. There are many realms that can be bridged into this reality, especially your crown chakra. Your crown chakra is what connects you to divine messages and source. It's what messages come through the crown chakra from elsewhere, or your higher self, or the divine, whatever you want to say. And what, I don't know if that many people that watch this reading know a lot about Lemuria. The crystal keys here is talking about quartz crystals that the Lemurians put data on. They recorded ancient wisdom and knowledge into these quartz crystals, and then they buried them for future generations to find and start to actually channel and understand the messages that were embedded in these quartz crystals. So maybe that's what you did in a past life. Maybe what you did in a past life was create and channel divine messages into something creative, something you like, maybe you were like a sculptor and you sculpted things with intention, or maybe you were a painter and you painted strange abstract paintings or something like that. Maybe you, I mean, similar to these crystals, maybe you created something that you put energy or charge energy into for future generations, or even if it's not in a super spiritual kind of way, maybe in a past life you were someone who liked making records. Maybe you liked making records of things so that people in the future can see what was happening. Maybe you were a writer, or Yeah, so it seems like because of how out there you were, because of how many insights you gained, and because of all of the wisdom that you gained, and among the people around you, it seems like you felt like they didn't really get you. Like, you did feel alone, and it left you feeling emotionally unstable in a past life. You felt alone because you couldn't turn off your receptivity to the divine. You couldn't turn off this part of you that was channeling things. And it kind of left you feeling low. In a past life, you couldn't stop channeling to the point where you felt distant from everyone. And so you dedicated your time into maybe recording things that you've learned, or into really sharing and expressing with the people around you what you learned, because you felt like that was maybe the only thing that kept you sane. Instead of going down the rabbit holes of feeling like no one could understand you and that you were abandoned by the universe, you knew you weren't. So you trusted that in a past life, and you started teaching and recording these things for other people. This hidden wisdom, you knew it was important. So in a past life, you were recording that for people. Wow. Wow, pile 3 is very different from the other two. I'm sure you would see that if you went and watched the other two. Whoever this is for, you had a very powerful past life, and I think we haven't gotten into how to best move forward yet, how to start this healing, how to start the shadow work, but I can already feel that you are meant to reintegrate some of that knowledge and wisdom that you've already learned. You're being called to remember what you already know, and you're being called once again from yourself to express that to other people in this lifetime. Because you already learned it in this past life. You learned emotional balance, emotional integrity. You learned how to get yourself out of ruts and move forward. You've learned connectivity. And I'm very proud of you for that, because it seems like you have worked through it, and it seems like it is now time to reintegrate and remember these things that you've learned. Past lifetimes, this lifetime, and that's honestly very fascinating. I love that. I'm gonna put this right here. So now we're gonna move into how to best start this healing shadow work journey. How to best, what's the best process for you to start doing to dig deeper into your inner world and really heal things. 9 of Wands. 7 of Wands in reverse. 8 of Swords. The Hierophant. Wow. Okay. This is interesting. There's a very worn and weathered vibe. That's very interesting. I don't know why it came to me like that. You're worn and weathered by your own thoughts. You have some constricting beliefs, possibly some dogmatic beliefs that you're being called to look at. Yeah. You have some dogmatic beliefs that are actually causing you to internally wear yourself out. You're wearing yourself out because of these beliefs you're holding. And they're not even really accurate. You're not seeing it for what it is. So your shadow work is definitely going to be about some beliefs you hold that are just going to leave you tired and worn out. They're not going to help you move on. They're not going to help you create, because you're giving all of this passion and energy you even have into these limiting beliefs about yourself or about the world. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm going to pull out these Prism Oracle cards first. Protection, surrender, illumination, and flow. Wow. Surrender comes out for me a lot, to be honest. I think surrender and flow came out for the last pile in one of the first two sections. I don't remember which. These were the two cards, though. Protection, surrender, illumination, and flow. Okay. How to best start this shadow work journey. Yeah, you're being really asked to just look at your limiting beliefs. It might be hard to see them at first, but look at beliefs that make you feel insecure or unprotected. And then surrender to the process. The best way for you to do shadow work is to surrender to the process of looking at what makes you feel insecure, looking at your triggers, looking at what upsets you, and really looking at what limiting beliefs those are. What are things that make you feel a little uncomfortable because you're so used to a certain way of existing? Like, bringing back up dogma. What kind of doctrines, teachings, family traditions, things like that, what kind of things have indoctrinated you? What are some limiting beliefs that you've gained from organizations or religious situations or familial relationships? What have you gained that is very one-sided or very limiting? What are those beliefs? Some dogmatic beliefs. We're all indoctrinated to an extent when we are young and growing up, even into adulthood. It takes a long time to break through these. But what is being illuminated and what needs illuminated? The best way to start is to really actually think about it, but not negatively. You're just being asked to contemplate and surrender to the flow of whatever needs illuminated until you do feel more secure. Alright, so meditate. Number 35. Sacral chakra, core of creation. Yeah. So if we look at it this way, surrendering to the creative flow, then you're still being asked to maybe channel those limiting beliefs into art, writing, something that can help ease that. Make the burden not feel so heavy. Feel like you don't have to defend yourself so much. Like, just surrender to the creative flow. And if something makes you feel insecure, maybe take a moment to meditate and contemplate why. Maybe take a moment every time you're triggered or anytime something comes up that you're just like, I never really thought about that being okay, or I didn't realize how much this thought was determining where my energy goes. So you're being asked to meditate and surrender to whatever comes to you, and whatever comes to you from your inner world, channel that into something creative, channel that out, express it at the very least. Wow. I'm gonna pull 4 more tarot cards, I think, just to really try to expand this for you. This reading has been simultaneously intense and very vague, and I just really hope that whoever is watching gets something really great from this, because that is why I'm here. And that is why the fan is making loud noises in the background. It's a fan of you. Okay. Alright. That was a joke, by the way. Try to make it a little lighter in here, I don't know. Alright. We have the 4 of Swords, meditativeness. You're going to just rest and contemplate on these things. So we have the sunlight in the middle of this lamb's head, and then we have the sun here, right over your head. This is channeling from yourself. So how to best start your energy work is to channel from your own inner reserves the things that need worked through in your free time, when you're resting, when you're relaxed, and just contemplate, surrender to that, and possibly get some insights on some new projects you can work on. That's what I'm feeling. That's great. Okay. 3 of Cups in reverse. Again, taking time out from having to defend yourself against other people, taking some time out from being around people so you can work through and better connect with other people when you come back from this meditative journey. Interesting. Okay. There's sun in this one too. Alright. The Hermit. Exactly what I just said. This is the energy. Taking time out for yourself and contemplating. You're going to take some time out and contemplate some limiting beliefs, some dogmatic beliefs. You're going to separate yourself from possibly people in an organization or people around you that are all acting as an echo chamber. You're going to take time out from that so that you can really see, okay, what's me? What are these beliefs that I'm letting weigh me down? And what is actually my creative energy that needs to flow through me? And the 7. So we have the 7 of Wands in reverse, and then we have the 7 of Wands in reverse again. So yes, there is some kind of family system, family dynamic, friend dynamic even, I mean, religious organization, work organization, something that is traditional and has never been, you know, yeah. So there is a group of people, all with similar mindsets, that are all keeping you kind of boxed into this structure, this specific set way of doing things. And you need to take some time out from those people, because it's just causing you to spend, sorry, it got dark. It's just causing you to spend all of your energy in ways that make it really hard to move forward. You really need to take this time out. And I understand if you have responsibilities, like, yeah, you need to do those, but at the end of the day, you need to not scroll, you need to not, you know, don't waste any time. Actually spend that time that you could be wasting and channel that into your own meditative practice or your own contemplative practice, where you are genuinely resting. Like, you're not scrolling while thinking about things and then getting triggered, and then, no. This needs to happen naturally. You need to get into your own self and seek the wisdom of your inner reserves, because they are boundless and they need expressed. Sacral chakra is literally the core of creation. This is where you need to go. In meditation, you need to go and you need to get into your sacral chakra. Okay? You need to contemplate what lights you on fire. Who are you? What makes you feel energetic and free and boundless? I'm having such a blast with this one, and we still have like a little time, I think, to add some more Prism Oracle cards. I just am really, really enjoying this one. I enjoyed the first two immensely as well, but just this is fascinating to me. Okay, this one wants to come out. It's death. Okay. Yeah. Is this separation or a severance possibly between you and some kind of organization, or at least a distance being created between you and the people around you because they aren't in alignment with your energy and your creative potential. So it seems like that's ending. You're severing ties possibly with, even if it's just like your own thoughts about this, you're severing your consciousness from possibly some kind of dogmatic, judgmental kind of communication space. I don't know what to call that. There's any group of people that have similar beliefs. Your beliefs may shift from that, and so you are severing consciousness with that energy. All right. Wow, this is interesting. Love. Okay. Pain. Let's do one more. Frustration. Okay, yep. It seems like you're channeling your energy into what you love and what lights you up, what sets you on fire. You're uniting with yourself to create the creative force, creative potential that you have. You've ignited it. So this pain and frustration that you feel surrounding some limiting beliefs, that you're going to channel those beliefs. You're going to transmute the pain and frustration of these limiting beliefs, and you're going to transmute it into your passions. And when you start doing that, it will separate your consciousness from that past darkness. So really, how to best do your shadow work? You're going to channel your energy into what you love while remaining contemplative and meditative. Maybe do some kind of creativity meditation. I'm sure they have this on YouTube. Just find a guided meditation about creativity, or some tones that are good for creativity, and meditate while listening to those tones. As well as, like, make sure if you're passionate and you get inspired by something to try your best to follow that inspiration. Don't just stop because of any limiting beliefs, any fears, any insecurities, any fear that it's not going to work, you're not strong enough, you're going to break down. No fears like that. You got this. Alright, that was awesome. I'm finally done with all 3 piles. I'm going to be editing this video soon, and it will be up, and I hope that whoever watched this one was as just fascinated and excited as I am, because this was a great one. Okay, so much love. Have a great day, night, whatever time it is. Have a good one.